Social media has officially lost control again, because every single time Brian Okwara and Sonia Uch appear together, viewers suddenly start acting like relationship detectives loudly fire, and honestly nobody can even blame the fans anymore, because the chemistry these two keep displaying feels way too natural to be ordinary acting collision. Every scene between them immediately turns into a full internet discussion, because audiences swear there is something emotionally different about the way interacts with Sonia compared to everybody else. Weary-faced people keep saying the eye contact alone already tells an entire story before they even speak. And once viewers start noticing emotional tension, like that the shipping becomes completely unstoppable, broken heart, the craziest part is that fans are no longer reacting to only romantic scenes, because now even the smallest moments between them become viral discussion topics online. Loudly crying face, somebody said Brian could literally pass Sonia a bottle of water and the internet would still scream chemistry, because their energy together somehow feels intimate without even trying. Fire viewers especially cannot stop talking about the way Brian looks at Sonia whenever she starts smiling, because according to fans, his entire expression changes instantly. Weary-faced people say there's this softness in his face that appears only around her, and once audiences notice emotional warmth like that, they immediately become obsessed. Collision, another thing making fans completely lose their minds is how comfortable Sonia always seems around Brian, because their interactions never look forced or rehearsed. Instead, it feels like two people who genuinely enjoy being around each other, and that authenticity is exactly why viewers are struggling to separate acting from real emotions. Broken heart. Honestly, the internet has reached the point where fans now replay their scenes multiple times just to analyze tiny details in their body language. Weary-faced some viewers swear Brian always leans closer to Sonia differently compared to his interactions with other actresses, while others keep pointing out how Sonia starts laughing more naturally whenever he's around. Loudly fire, and once fans start noticing repeated patterns like that, the shipping agenda becomes impossible to stop. Collision. There was even one particular scene that absolutely exploded online, because viewers claimed the emotional tension felt so real it made them uncomfortable. Loudly crying face. People kept posting clips saying, "This cannot just be acting anymore," because the way Brian stared at Sonia during that moment genuinely looked personal. Broken heart fans said the silence between them somehow felt louder than dialogue itself, and honestly, that type of emotional intensity is exactly what drives internet obsession. Weary face. Another thing viewers keep discussing non-stop is how Brian seems unusually protective around Sonia during interviews and behind-the-scenes clips. Collision fans noticed he often pays extra attention to her reactions and immediately responds whenever she says something funny or awkward. Loudly crying face. These tiny observations might seem small individually, but once fans combine all of them together, they create an entire romantic narrative in their heads. Fire and social media absolutely loves emotional storytelling, especially when celebrities have chemistry this strong. Broken heart viewers are also obsessed with the fact that Sonia appears genuinely relaxed around Brian, because with some celebrity pairings audiences can easily sense performance energy. Weary face. But with these two people keep saying everything flows too naturally to look scripted, even their random conversations somehow feel emotionally charged, and that's why fans continue convincing themselves there has to be something deeper happening behind cameras. Collision. Honestly, one major reason people are addicted to their chemistry is because it doesn't feel loud or exaggerated. Fire instead, the connection feels subtle, emotional, and gradual, which strangely makes audiences even more invested. Loudly crying face fans love relationships that develop through tiny gestures, because it feels more believable than overdramatic romance. Broken heart and Brian plus Sonia constantly deliver those tiny emotional moments that viewers replay obsessively. Weary face. Another reason the internet cannot stop shipping them is because Brian's personality appears noticeably calmer around Sonia. Collision fans keep comparing clips of him with other co-stars versus clips with Sonia, and according to viewers, the difference is extremely obvious. Loudly crying face, they say, he smiles more naturally around her, speaks softer, and seems far more emotionally present. Fire whether true or not, fans have already accepted this narrative completely, and now every interaction just fuels the frenzy even more. Broken heart. There was also a moment recently that sent viewers completely insane, because Sonia laughed during an interview, and Brian immediately started smiling at her in a way fans described as dangerously affectionate. Loudly Collision social media instantly exploded with edits, slow-motion videos, and emotional captions, because audiences genuinely believe there's hidden tension between them. Weary face, some fans even joked that their chemistry should be studied scientifically, because every appearance together somehow creates another viral conversation. Fire, honestly, what makes their pairing especially addictive is that neither Brian nor Sonia ever tries too hard to feed the shipping rumor's broken heart. They simply interact naturally. And somehow that naturalness becomes even more suspicious to fans. Viewers always become more obsessed when celebrities act comfortable instead of overly performative, because it creates the illusion of authenticity collision. And once audiences feel authenticity, they become emotionally attached very quickly. Weary face, another thing fans cannot stop talking about is the emotional eye contact between them during serious scenes. Fire people say Brian looks at Sonia like he's genuinely listening, instead of merely waiting for his next line. That emotional attentiveness makes scenes feel intimate in a way viewers rarely experience in ordinary Nollywood pairings. Broken heart, and because audiences crave believable emotional connection, they immediately latch onto actors capable of creating it naturally. Collision, some fans even admitted they started watching certain movies only because Brian and Sonia were in them together. Imagine how powerful chemistry has to be for viewers to ignore entire storylines and focus mainly on two actors looking at each other. Weary face, that alone already explains why social media keeps losing its mind whenever they appear on screen together. Fire people genuinely feel emotionally invested in whatever dynamic these two create. Broken heart, another reason the shipping frenzy keeps growing is because viewers think Sonia brings out completely different emotional side of Brian. Loudly crying face fans constantly describe him as softer, calmer, and more expressive around her. Collision, some even claim he behaves like someone trying not to reveal his feelings too obviously, which obviously only makes audiences even more suspicious. Weary face, social media thrives